Who here has ever had a voice lesson? Raise your hands, let me see. Okay, a few of you. Oh, my students are here, that's why. Okay, hands down. Who here has ever taken a communications course, maybe at college, maybe in high school? Okay, a little bit more hands. Good. Okay, all your hands can go down now. All right, who here has a voice? Oh, everybody's hand should be up, yeah. Good. Our voices help us survive and thrive on a daily basis. The most powerful instrument you all possess is right here inside your throat. And guess what? You can feel it. Put your finger on your Adam's apple or your Eve's apple or your thyroid notch if you're from the science community. This is your vocal instrument. It's an instrument that speaks, sings, laughs, cries, emphasizes, encourages, yells. But most people haven't had voice training because, traditionally, voice training has been reserved for singers. However, we all know teachers, politicians, friends who are skilled speakers, speakers whose message we understand, enjoy, and remember. But what makes them so successful? Albert Morabian, early researcher of body language and one of the first to break down face-to-face conversation, found that communication is 55% how you look, 38% how you sound, and only 7% what you say. AKA, communication is mostly not what you say, it's how you say it. However, in traditional voice and speech instruction, much emphasis is placed on what to say. However, our voice, our primary means of truly connecting with an audience, is often overlooked. Now, who am I? Well, I've been a voice teacher and a vocal coach for almost 15 years. If you're doing the math, I just turned 30, so that means that almost half of my life, okay, I'm almost 31, but for almost half of my life, I have been helping people with their voices. But I did not end up here by chance. I was blessed, lucky to be born into a family of musicians, music educators, artists, band leaders, people who valued vocal expression. At a very young age, I learned that, of course, my voice could be used to communicate, but it could also be used to get what I want, to make a point known, and to sing louder and higher than any one of my siblings at our all too common holiday family sing-alongs. Don't you all do that, right? Also not by chance was how I gravitated towards voice training and teaching. My mom, my inspiration for everything I do, started teaching students at a very young age in my family living room. I would watch as people from all backgrounds, professions, persuasions learned how to control their voices and use their voice to achieve their own vocal goals. And as she grew in prominence, me and my brother and my dad got to travel along with her and go to Hong Kong and watch her help speech-language pathologists, working with opera singers in Italy, and even voice teachers right here in New York City. My mom was empowering learners of all backgrounds and ages and professions with vocal knowledge. She believed, as do I firmly, that vocal knowledge is vocal power. The more you know about this insane instrument, the more you can achieve. So it's no surprise. I'm doing something very similar to what my mom did. I'm working with Broadway actors, helping them get through an 8-show week. I'm working with pop singers, R&B artists, singer-songwriters, helping them perform powerfully and sustainably. I mentor voice teachers, helping them bring out the vocal brilliance in their own students. And what brings me here today is I work with speakers, tech executives, entrepreneurs, business leaders, people who just want to learn how to use their voice as a speaker. Now, when I first decided to get my MBA at Baruch College, after being an actor for most of my life, with a degree in musical theater from the University of Michigan, go Blue, and also go CUNY, of course. I laughed when the first course I had to take was a communications course, managerial communications. I thought, surely I knew how to communicate. I took acting classes. One of the things we're taught, get what you want. I knew how to get what I want. But in all fairness, like Moravian said, I didn't know what to say, and I needed to learn what to say. And I did learn what to say. And I'm grateful to that class for teaching me that. But again, what brings me here today is that speaking strategically and effectively is not just what you say. It's how you say it. And in my work as a vocal coach with speakers, I found 4 vocal skills for success that will help you be more effective in getting your message across, encouraging listener interest and recall, and most importantly, encouraging speaker and listener confidence. All right, so you all are going to have to use your voices. I hope you know that, okay? So this is a class, okay? So, vocal skill number 1, engage. Make your voice sing by controlling pitch. It's actually pretty easy to control the pitches of our voices, and you can do so by imitating a siren that we've all come to know and love, especially living in this beautiful city called New York. Why don't we imitate all together, yes, use your voice, a siren. Do it on a woo. Do it. Woo. Oh my goodness, wow. Oh, your sirens are much more respectable than the ones I hear on the street. So for most of you, you went from a low speaking range or a low pitch to a high speaking range or a high pitch. Now, I'm going to ask you to experiment and explore with keeping our voices in one singular speaking range. The first way, in a low speaking range. So if you're having trouble getting there, siren down, woo. And now you're going to say the phrase, let me share my screen, in a low speaking range. Try it. Low speaking range, go. Let me share my screen. Oh, God, I'm so bored. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, siren your voice up to a high pitch. Woo. Keep it up there. And say, let me share my screen. Oh, okay, I'm excited about that. Okay, great. Okay, the last way I want you to speak is in a varied speaking range, meaning you're gonna start in a low speaking range and end in a high speaking range. But we have to add a phrase to our experiment. We said, let me share my screen, but what do we always say after we say, let me share my screen? Can everybody see my screen? Yeah, I bet you all say that and you don't realize it. It's inspired memes. I had a whole music meme that I thought you wouldn't get it. Okay, so start low and say, let me share my screen, and end by saying, can everybody see my screen? Do it. Let me share my screen. Can everybody see my screen? Oh my God, I'm so excited to see your screen. That's what I say every time my professors. Oh, there it is. That's it. That's the funny meme, right? I could sing that to you, but I'm not going to. Thank you. Okay. So when we spoke in a low speaking range, we conveyed what? Confidence, authority, maturity. And when we spoke in a high speaking range, we conveyed warmth, friendliness, excitement. But when we spoke in a varied speaking range, going from low to high, yes, we got a little bit of both, but more importantly, the listener was engaged. Now, as you can see, by just controlling the pitch of our voice, we conveyed 3 different types of messages and encouraged 3 different types of responses. Vocal skill number 2, excite. Make sure they hear your message by controlling loudness. Okay, I have to hearken back to my theater days. And the number 1 rule we are taught before everything else in the theater is that we must first be heard and understood. Doesn't matter who we're talking to. It doesn't matter the context of the play. It matters that the text that we are speaking is heard and understood by the audience or the listener. Obviously, loudness or volume impacts significantly if you are heard and understood. All right, so now it's time to experiment with loudness. And to do so, we actually have to leave the hypothetical office that we're all in right now, and we have to go to the basketball court. And guess what? The Baruch Bearcats, yeah, go Baruch, are playing a basketball game, and they're about to score their winning basket. And guess what? We all have to stand up because we're so excited for Baruch. Stand up, and we have to, in a loud speaking range, say, "Go Bearcats!" Do it. Go Bearcats! Oh my gosh, if I was the Bearcats, I'd feel so good. Okay. I've never really watched a basketball game, as you can see. Okay, now relax your body. Get super quiet and say, "Go Bearcats." Sit down. So this is an obvious one. When we spoke loud, the team heard us. They knew that we cared about the game they were playing. And when we were speaking softly, the team probably didn't hear us, and they wondered if we cared. Now, a soft-spoken person may appear shy or lacking confidence. However, a loud-spoken person, like myself, may exude confidence. Now, research has shown that increased volume coupled with increased rate is most effective for confidently answering questions. However, if a speaker is too loud, they may be perceived as aggressive, which none of us ever wants. Vocal skill number 3, empathize. Add color and clarity to your voice. Clarity is just like the word sounds like. How clear is the tone of your voice? Is it clear as a bell, or is it rough or gravelly and maybe has some unwanted noise in it? So let's experiment with clarity. And to do so, we have to first get super clean and clear. To do that, we have to open the inside of our throats. Everybody smile inside, but maybe you can't even show it. It's inside, yeah? And we're gonna use this phrase, "Can I schedule a meeting?" Do it. Can I schedule a meeting? Oh, yes, of course you can. What do you want to do it? Tomorrow? No. Okay, let's go the opposite way now. Let's get gravelly and rough and say, "Can I schedule a meeting?" Do it. Can I? Good. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, when our voices were clean and clear and open, it was easy to hear my message. I was excited about scheduling that meeting. However, when I was tight inside my throat, it might have been a little hard to understand what I was saying, number 1. And number 2, I wasn't so excited about scheduling that meeting. Now, again, less content is retained by a speaker with a rough and gravelly voice. That's what we found in our own research. However, empathy and rapport building is achieved with a smile. So, if you take anything away from this talk, it's to speak with a smile to those you truly care about. Vocal skill number 4, entice. Close the deal by controlling rate. Your rate of speech is the pace at which you speak. Literally the syllables per second. If I speak at a fast rate, I sound rushed or maybe impatient. If I speak at a slow rate, I may sound lazy or disinterested. All right, so let's experiment. This is your last vocal experiment. And we're gonna say, "Let's circle back on Monday." Another wonderful phrase from the business world. You see, I'm learning. I'm really getting my MBA education. Okay, so let's circle back on Monday. Let's try by saying that super slow. Do it. Let's circle back on Monday. Okay, not really excited about that. All right, now let's say it super fast. Let's circle back on Monday. Okay, we'll schedule the meeting for God. We'll circle back on Monday, whatever that means. What does it circle even back anyway? Obviously, the correct pace, and I don't even like to use that word correct, is somewhere in between. However, if you speak with confident pacing, you will convey a professional, a well-informed attitude. You see, as you can see, by learning how to control this thing, this most powerful vocal instrument, observing the changes in sound and impact as a result of that control, and then practicing and planning strategically, you will be able to engage, excite, empathize, and entice. The moral of the story here is not to say that one way is right and one way is wrong. It's to emphasize that this vocal instrument has options. You all have options. Pitch, clarity, and color influence a listener's comprehension and recall. Loudness, rate, and diction influence the listener's perception of the speaker's confidence and intelligence. The choice is yours. Or as my mom likes to say, your voice is your choice. Lastly, I want to leave you with a quote from my mentor and founder of Estel Voice Training. Her name was Jo Estel. Her research and her work in the voice field led to the formation of a company of which I am proud to be leading the way. And Jo, at the end of her life, started to record her lectures. And she talks about how she got into this research. And I'll just say what she says. She says, when you stop and think about it, more people want to sing than do sing. She talks to a bank president. She says to him, everyone has a beautiful voice. He shakes his head and he laughs. And he says, not me. You couldn't teach me how to sing. But Jo says, his face says I want to, but I don't believe I can. When we believe and truly trust and empower ourselves with vocal knowledge and vocal awareness and vocal control, we empower ourselves for success. You can do anything you want, and you can change how you sound. Remember, the most powerful instrument you all possess, all of you, is right here inside your throat. Give it some love. Say, hi, I love you, voice. You have options. Amazing. And remember, as Jo said, everyone has a beautiful voice. You all have beautiful voices. And when you believe that and truly trust that, there's nothing you can't dream, and there is nothing you can't do. Thank you.